getting to be too common of a theme, Isis.
Sorry.
Nah, it's not your fault.
I don't know. Technology's weird.
Yeah, no, every once in a while, it just like, I don't know, it needs to go through.
Turn on and off, right?
Turn on and off, yeah. You need to just blow on it, I guess. So it's not really, it's Isis's fault, but it's not Isis's fault. If he was paying attention, he would notice there was no green levels showing that we were sending out a signal, sound.
Yep.
And but thankfully someone, I don't know who gets credit, but someone pointed it out in the YouTube feed. Which it just sucks when you lose that. But we were just babbling anyways.
Yeah.
I was, for those that care, I was wearing a Pebble Beach shirt. And I didn't want anyone to look into that like this is my subtle way of showing support for the Niners over the Lions or anything like that. It's just I wear whatever fits. And it was, we were getting dangerously close to wearing the same outfits.
Yeah, every
other day.
I noticed that when I parked and I was walking into the house, I'm like, oh, he's got a Lions shirt on again.
Yeah.
So,
and it was just on the top of the pile of dirty clothes.
Right.
So that's all that meant.
And I'll admit, I don't have as much Lion stuff as I maybe once had, so this is just what I wear. And this has kind of become my playoff uniform. It's funny because I would have probably, if they had never played Stafford, I probably would have just kept wearing my Stafford jersey.
Yeah.
Because I don't buy new jerseys. My parents happened to buy this one, and because I went to the Rams game, I'm like, well, I can't wear a Stafford jersey.
Nope.
And now I'm just wearing it.
Yeah.
But like if they had never played the Rams, I probably would have just kept wearing my Stafford jersey.
Are you getting nervous? Excited?
Not really. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent. I got a lot going. I don't know. It feels like a lot going on that I haven't I don't know. I haven't had time to think about it as much as I probably should have. But maybe that's a good thing. It's kind of flown by the time. No, I'm not that anxious or excited yet.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting
be.
pretty anxious. I honestly, my thoughts on this game, I think I said it the other day, I think it's insulting that the Lions are 7-point dogs.
Yeah.
Or 7.5, 7 point, but still most of the betting money is going on the 49ers.
Yeah.
So they must just think, the 49ers at home, it's going to be absolutely clear blue skies. There's not a fucking raindrop anywhere around.
Yeah.
It's going to be, 65 to 70 degrees and sunny.
Right.
So that definitely helps out a Brock Purdy over a Jared Goff, I would say. But I was telling Isis before the show, I really feel like there is something to that, how you're playing at the time when the playoffs start. It's just it's a whole different ballgame. And it's basically like that for every sport. Not that I need to tell you guys.
Right.
But I feel like my 49ers, and I love my 49ers, don't get me wrong. I really do. They've been descending over the past, since Christmas.
Yeah.
They have not looked the same. They haven't played the same. They've won, but they haven't gotten a real test. Baltimore was that. I think Baltimore broke them. Right. And, and then it was like Washington, and then it was like the Rams, but nobody played. Nobody played because it didn't matter to the Rams or the Niners. So they really just kind of played two-hand touch ball out there with no starters, really. And so you can't gauge anything on that. And then the Niners had another bye week and then played the Packers, and the Packers outplayed them. Pure and simple, the Packers did. Their Niners were absolutely lucky to escape that with a win. So this idea that, what they did during the regular season, who did each other beat, who did they lose to, what was the margin, all that shit that people are breaking down means nothing to me.
Yeah.
It just doesn't. If you think you get to the Super Bowl and you're playing the same Chiefs team that you played in week one,
right,
and you're going to gauge anything on that, you're nuts.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. So I feel like this Lions team is really on the ascending. They're an ascending squad, and the Niners are kind of descending. And whether those paths cross at the right spot,
Yeah, and it is nice. I feel like it's nice
but
that finally all the pressure is really on San Francisco to win.
Yeah.
Not really on the Lions.
No.
That's kind of nice.
No, the
finally.
Lions have outperformed everything.
Yeah, and so that's kind of nice, I guess. I don't know, man. I'm just like, it's been a weird time for me, I guess. Like, I'm going down to this fucking concert Saturday, which in my life never would have mattered. But like, it's on my mind that I'm doing that, and I'm coming home and I don't know. It's just,
So you're going to Dallas to see Pat Green.
Yeah, of course.
And you're doing that Saturday night?
Leaving Saturday morning, coming back Sunday afternoon.
So, okay. So you get back like
3 o'clock.
Yeah, a couple hours from kickoff.
It's a weird thing, and I've been upset that I think that it's the Lions game is affecting both of them seem to be affecting each other. I don't seem to be getting excited as much about the Lions game as I should, and yet I also don't seem to be getting as excited about the Pat Green show as I normally would. They're equally offsetting, unfortunately, but. It's what it is. I'm not trying to complain. I'm just saying I think it's why I've been feeling a little weird about it this week. So I don't know. I'll be excited Sunday. I know that.
If you see the guy in the stands, he wears the glittery hat.
Yeah.
Have you seen him? Do you know who I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's at every Lions game, home and away.
Okay. Yeah. I think I do.
And he's got the Hutchinson eye paint.
Yeah.
His name is Paul.
Okay.
And Paul worked at a really trendy hair salon in Royal Oak.
Okay.
And he was my hairstylist.
Really?
Yes.
That's funny.
For years. I love Paul.
Yeah.
Because I'd go in there and the place is absolutely wall-to-wall hot chicks.
Yeah.
And Paul.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he's the least gay dude you'd ever talk to. So I would sit down and he would take an hour to do my hair because we'd be just talking about the Lions.
Gotcha.
We'd be just talking about the game.
Yeah.
And he was like, one day I went in there and he's like, bro, you're never going to guess who came in here the other day and whose hair I cut. Rookie year.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford.
Oh, really?
And he's like, the whole place knew, no, go to Paul. And Paul's the shit.
Yeah.
And he has since opened up a salon in Philly.
Oh, really?
And he must be murdering it because this dude's flying to every road game. He brings his girl who's fucking hot as shit, and he brings his fucking dog.
Oh yeah, I know. I know this guy. Yeah.
And Paul's one of the nicest dudes in the world, and he's all over social media.
Yeah.
M-Live's putting him in print, and
right.
So if you see him, so I was texting with him earlier, and he texted me, and he was like, "Hey, are you going?" He knows what a Niners fan I am. And I was like, "No, I'm not going to go, but I'm assuming you're going."
Yeah.
And what did tickets run? And he's flying in for 18 hours. He's literally flying in, going to the game, and then fucking off.
Not even getting a hotel.
I guess he would get a hotel for that night.
I considered doing that one time this year for a game, where you fly in and don't even fucking just to save as much money as possible. But I know what you're saying. But yeah, he probably is. If he's flying out, he's got the money, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he must. I mean, but I was looking at tickets, and I don't know, what. I mean, playoff football is exciting. The Lions never be in there. There's plenty of people around here with money.
Yeah.
And so Ticketmaster, the lowest price. This was earlier in the week too. This could have changed. 400 in the 400 sections. So top of the stadium.
Yeah.
$549.
Yep. I've been looking, even though this is not a one where I'm even considering being able to go to, but I've been looking because I'm curious.
So if you want to be in the lower bowl, like in the end zone, $12,000 a ticket.
No, I know, it's crazy.
Yeah. Vivid seats, top of the stadium, $580. Lowest priced in the lower bowl is $822. I can't imagine you're getting in the lower bowl for $820. That's I don't see that. But
unless it's a standing room seat. I don't know how that stadium works. I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah, the most expensive ticket on Vivid is $31,550.
God,
do you imagine? But I mean, you'd have to be between the 40s.
Yeah.
Behind one of the benches. But
even that though, that's got to be one of those ones that's like a club that comes with some level of
oh yeah, but still,
I get it.
Even that should be like $3,000.
No, I get it, but I'm saying that's got to be one of those ones that comes with some kind of parking or something.
SeatGeek has standing room only tickets at $442. Cheapest seat they had was $596, and that's way up in the rafters.
Yeah.
They had tickets as priced as high as $32,622. All prices listed do not include website fees.
Of course,
so double the cost for the vultures. I mean, it's I don't buy enough on those SeatGeek. I just don't care. I'm not going to events very often.
It's really annoying.
But
I wish they just said what the goddamn price. Just say what it is.
Yeah. Especially when you know that the system's being gamed.
Yeah.
And people are basically stealing tickets from actual fans just to fuck them over on price. They've got to do something about it.
All I wish is that when you went to fucking StubHub or something, is that the ticket was just with the fees. Just show me what it is. Because you have to go through
So if you're paying $30,000, don't go, oh, by the way, we get our $5,000 too.
You have to fucking go through. And the thing is, because honestly, the fees that they charge on these tickets are not the same all the time. They're not the same based on a lower level. They're not the same based on if you want an aisle seat. They're not exactly like standard, right? So when I'm trying to buy tickets to these shit things I go to, you have to like go through the entire process. And then you find out, okay, this is how much it's going to be.
Yeah. Is it going to be hundreds of dollars on those or thousands?
Absolutely. I've at times I've paid. I think I've paid. I'm trying to think what I did for the playoff game I went to because I got them off StubHub. I think it was like listed at $400, and it ends up being $100, $50 to $100 per ticket.
Yeah,
it's like the fees.
Well, that's not too bad. I never know what's
but
what.
You say that it's like, funny, $100 for.
Oh yeah, no, that's bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can look at my ticket stubs upstairs where it was $1.
Yeah, right.
For the Ticketmaster fees, and you got hard card stock.
Oh, I know.
Printed tickets that were awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, it makes no sense. But then you see stuff like, Taylor Swift tickets go on sale, and they're $1,000, but then it's $6,000 because of these vultures.
I know. I don't
know what it is. By the way, I'm getting really tired of, and I don't want to be an old man or a pussy, but is there any truth at all to like, when they're interviewing players, and I know they got to say something, but these players that are constantly going like, oh, this is different. This fan base is special.
I know.
This team is special. It's more like a family.
Yeah, I know.
This is like a family in here. And I'm just like, you realize if they found a bum off the streets that they thought could fucking make one more play than you would, this family would get divorced immediately. Yeah. And you'd be thrown out on your ass.
Well, I think it's a mutual assurance because on the same hand, I just watched a YouTube video where it's like 15... it was something like whatever absurd things that Jared Goff owns. Like I did not realize how much money this dude has, right?
Oh,
and they were showing like these houses he has, these cars he's bought. And so on the same hand, they're getting theirs. So it's kind of a mutual thing that we all know that in the moment we're kind of together, just like a relationship. I mean, a relationship. You have girls or guys that you date, and in that moment,
love this girl.
Blah, blah, blah. And then 5 years later, where is that person if they're not with you?
Right,
just another fucking person.
Yeah, just another burned relationship.
I just think that's what it is.
Yeah,
I think
I know, but they all say it, and then the assholes, the talking heads are like, oh yeah, this really is this feels different. This is like a real family in here, and I get it, sort of, but it's maybe it's again like Henson and I were talking about, just getting older and more jaded, and you're like, yeah, this is no way a family, and this fan base is not that much more special than anyone else's. Everyone's fan base is electric when your team's in it. They just are.
Yes and no. That's not necessarily true.
Yeah, well,
I mean, there are teams that don't care as much for sure.
Yes, but for the most part, the most rabid fan bases are equivalents. The Kansas City fans, the Niner fans. You're not going to get a blue out in the stadium there,
right?
Just like you wouldn't get a red out in the stadium here.
Yeah,
it's not like going to LA where no one's from there, no one gives a shit. Arizona, you'll see their stadium flip all the time.
Yeah.
Vegas, you'll see their stadium flip. Those people, but I'm talking about hardcore football bases.
Yeah.
I just don't. I do sort of go, this is special, and I feel it around here with this city. But it's brand new.
I think that
it's brand new.
Why, though.
So So if this team, can you imagine they string like 7 years of great play together? You'll start seeing people selling tickets on StubHub and all that kind of stuff. Of course.
No, that's why this year specifically, I've already said, that's why I've really been trying to soak it in. I'm kind of bummed. I think they were talking about it in the whatever.
What?
The first part of the
Oh, it's okay.
Podcast,
no one heard that.
That I'm going to Pat Green on Saturday, and I'm kind of bummed. Like I already feel like I've done a lot, dude. I went to a game, which is more than I ever thought I got to do. I went down to the bar for the other game. If they were to win on this Sunday, I will go to Detroit for the Super Bowl. But like I've been trying.
You will?
I'll go to watch it. I'll go and watch in Detroit, whether Forward Vision if they do that again, or I will be in the city of Detroit for the Super Bowl. That's where I'd want to be. But my point is, like, I've been trying to tell myself that this year is the year because even next year, it will get tamped down in a sense of like now you got to go through the whole season again and like shit, we got to the NFC Championship game. We got to win these again. We got to go through this again. And so it becomes more and more of like, this is the year where it is the most fresh, the most exciting, the most what you want out of a fan.
Yeah.
So I know what you're saying. And I think with teams and players, as far as this is special, this fan base is special, I don't know. I think they mean it to an extent. I think some of them.
Yeah.
I don't think they. Like Jared Goff.
But
recently,
they're the same fan base that was booing you in week 6. You know what I mean?
Like and that's why.
And fans are allowed to do that. They do it in every stadium. I don't know. There's just something about hearing the same thing over and over and over. And every time a team like puts it together and starts to make a run, this is the stuff you get out of the locker room. Like, oh, this is a family.
I know.
Unlike anything I've ever seen before. Now, that said, there's no doubt. And again, it being the first time around, what's going on and what I noticed at Ford Field is absolute berserk. They're going bananas. And the coolest thing, and I guess it is sort of different, what I've never seen before is an absolute stadium full of people still there long after the game ends.
Right.
Like for quite a long time when they're doing interviews, that whole stadium is still there.
Yeah.
That I've never seen before.
I would say, I think that you can't take it in all... like, oh, this is totally special all the time. Like Jared Goff's been asked recently, obviously multiple times, about how he feels about what's going on here and stuff. And some extent, of course, he's not going to trash things. Of course, he's going to try to play PC, and it's their job too. Part of their job is to make us feel like we're part of it. That's why they're making this money, is because we care about them. And so I think that, yeah, to some extent that's there. But I also think that there's truth at times in it too. Like, he was in a franchise that did want him out of there.
Yeah.
The coach did not want him there. They
No
got
doubt.
rid of him for several first-round draft picks. So I believe to an extent that, yeah, I think he's probably very happy
I think in
personally with what's
instances like
happening.
that, you're right. I think for him, he's like, holy shit. Because his
I'm sure
career,
he enjoys it right now. I would say that.
Oh, my God,
I'm sure
yes.
he appreciates it.
And there's a revitalization that you wouldn't have even thought possible. I'll be the first to admit, man, when I saw that Stafford trade go through, I was like, Jared fucking Goff, really? Really? And I was against it all the way. And it was like, okay, maybe this is a good thing. 3 years down the road, you collect on all these draft picks, and if they turn into something, then Goff will obviously be long gone. So this is shocking to see what they've done.
Yeah.
And I totally believe this franchise believed in him. I didn't believe it at the time.
Right.
They have to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course. I don't care who your quarterback is. If whoever your quarterback is, the team's gonna go, oh yeah, we're rallying around.
Right.
This is our guy. This is the guy. You're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. You'd take 15 other quarterbacks before that.
I'm such not a nerd. Like, even though Greg Henson talks how he talks, he knows way more than I do.
Hell yeah.
But he's more of an actual smarts and knows what's happening. I'm just an emotional fan.
Yeah.
But I have heard people say that as far as their belief in Goff, they had chances, from what I hear, to draft quarterbacks. And they didn't do that. The Lions did. I remember on 97.1 them talking about they could have, in some of these rounds in the last few years, I guess there was a few quarterbacks people thought they could have, and they didn't.
Yeah.
And their reasoning was they did have faith in what Jared Goff
which
they
is
thought
very
was going to
cool.
do. So
it's very cool.
It is. What's for real? It would be such an interesting to actually get him specifically, I would say, in a situation where he could get some kind of truth serum or whatever you want to call it.
I think he's in heaven, dude.
I agree.
I think 100% he was pushed out. That's got to be embarrassing as shit, first off.
Yeah.
And then to land here and have nothing but support from ownership and management and coaching, and then the city.
Right.
Like, the city just doesn't automatically give you that.
Especially
you
not
earn
here
that.
for sure.
No.
A lot of in general blue collar towns don't just tend to give it to you. You do have to get it for sure on the field.
No, it's a different parking lot scene in San Francisco than Detroit.
I'm sure
it is, and it's much snobbier there, and the wine and cheese bullshit is real.
Yeah,
where around here they're fun as hell, man.
Yeah,
not that they believe me, they have knuckleheads out there too.
I'm sure
that are doing all that stuff, but.
I don't know. I will say, for whatever.
I can't wait though, dude. I'm so jacked up. I can't wait. It's gonna be the longest 3 days of my life.
This is my most. Being older, I mentioned the other day that I really have not. I've only seen one championship since I've been 21. The Red Wings in 2008. I know they went to the finals in 2009, but I really only saw one championship as a 21-year-old. And so my point of that being is
that is
like
so irrelevant. I don't know why you give a shit about that. You've mentioned it twice now.
I say that because
that you were 21 for. Like, who cares?
Well, I say that because I was younger. I had not much going on in my life.
It's like an 8-year-old. You mean when the team won?
Well, even being 20, I didn't have a car payment and stuff like that. I don't know, stuff like that. So my point is I have more going on in my life now, but this is by far the most fun I've had with sports. I don't even know when.
Isn't it wild? And you quit the team
I did quit
like
the team.
2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I quit the team.
Oh, you quit the team. You were out.
And by the way, you know what's funny? I'm going to say something here that I think a lot of people disagree with. I've jumped on the bandwagon of my own bandwagon of that. I am not against this idea of saying we and referring to the football team.
Yeah.
Like when people are like, oh, we won, and like you didn't win, you didn't play.
Yeah.
You know, I came to a conclusion the other, and I'm sure Greg Henson would fucking hate this.
Yeah.
But I came to this conclusion the other day recently. Is like I just hit my head. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I get that I'm not playing. I get that I'm not on the field.
You're not at all.
But guess what? If you're working for fucking people caring about you guys, you don't get paid this money to play a game. You're playing a fucking game. Let's be honest, you're playing a kid's game, and if people don't care about you, then you don't get paid to play that fucking game.
Yeah.
So I've kind of come around on this idea.
So
that
you think you're part of the squad then? I
have no problem saying we.
Okay.
I mean, I don't run around saying, but I don't have a problem with it. I've decided.
I think it's just.
I don't really say it, by the way.
I think it's just speak. I don't think people mean. I know it's easy to pick that one out and be like, "Well, did you suit up for him?" But it's like, no, I mean we in the larger, like Detroit as a group, like we won our market. Our market won.
Right.
We did this.
That's true. That's true as well, by the way.
Yeah. So I don't really have a problem with it. It does jump out a little bit when I hear people say it.
I don't even tend to say it, but
I'm probably guilty of it. The reason I'm not jumping on you is because I would in no way think I had anything. I am nothing but a bystander here watching, but there's probably 1,000 examples you could point to on tape where I've said, oh my God, I can't believe we won that game.
Right.
And it's like, I don't mean it that way, obviously.
And I would say mostly the times I say we, it's more like you're in a bar situation watching the game, and maybe I'm talking like next to me, like, God, we got to get a first down here.
Yeah.
I mean,
nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it'd be weird if you were like, oh, God, the Lions got to get a first down. No,
right.
we're all in this together.
Yeah.
By the way,
one pride, Mike.
Yeah. Things got a little squirrely. If you were wondering where we were the last couple days, and I'm a shitbag and I don't update much, but I will explain. I had some sort of pipe burst here, and I lost all water pressure. And I was like, what the fuck? What do I do here? I don't know how to handle this. I'm an idiot, and I don't know anything.
Right.
And so it was like, I guess call a plumber. At this point, I didn't know anything. All I knew was the water wasn't working right.
Yeah.
Like there was no pressure, and the toilets wouldn't flush. And I was like, oh, that's a disaster in this house.
Yeah.
If you don't have operational toilets, this is a problem.
Sure, that gallbladder situation.
Exactly. Without a gallbladder, it's a disaster. And so it's like, well, there's like 4 toilets in this house. I
have
could
4
fill
chances.
up this one. I got 4 flushes, when the water's not working. But it was still sort of like out of the taps. It was working a little bit. So anyway, I call this company and I'm like, I need a plumber, something or other, and someone to come.
I need a man to come over.
I need a man to come over to my house and tell me what's wrong. And so it turns out they're sending over someone, and he's a fucking listener.
Crazy.
Dude, I was thinking, that's crazy. What are the odds of that? But you know how often that's happened?
Yeah,
that's happened quite a few times. I was going to
say, it seems like it has happened quite a bit of times.
Actually. Yeah. So maybe we have more people listening than we think. But
yeah,
or it's just like every time there's a problem here, it just happens to be a listener. That
God's will, Mike.
It is. I don't know, but thank God Frank was listening, and he actually told me. I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I listened back to them." I was like, "There's no way. It can't be."
Right.
The cult leader, and I'm like, "Well, welcome." And he's like, "I listened to the message of you talking to our dispatch." I was like, "Jesus." He's like,
"That's funny."
Yeah, no, that's him. That's him. And so he came over, and goddamn, he was awesome.
That's
just
funny.
Awesome. And I know if I'm Joe Shit the Ragman and he doesn't know who I am, maybe it's a different conversation. But the thing that is so comforting about that, when you get someone that's like, "Hey, man, I listened to the show. I'm headed over. Blah blah blah." The only thing, it's not like, "Oh wow, look at me, I'm special." It's like the only thing I think is, oh, cool. Maybe there's a good chance I won't get ripped off here.
Right.
Like they're not going to want to fuck me over because there's a personal relationship between listeners of this show and us.
For sure.
And when I say that, I mean it. Like there is between the monsters in this show, the diehards and stuff. There is a familial aspect to it.
I agree. Yeah,
for sure. We've met tons of these people, and a lot of them have been over here. And Frank was no different. He came down. I was like, "You want to see the studio?" And he's like, "Hell yeah!"
Nice.
So he came down and got some pictures.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that was great. Well, in that process, because he wasn't here that long.
Yeah.
But it was, by the time you figure out what's going on, it's noon.
Right.
Me, anyways. Because it worked fine in the morning.
Okay, so it just kind of stopped working. At that point.
So all of a sudden I went and took a piss, and I was like, that didn't flush right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, there's a problem, but I don't walk around the house and examine like what's happened. So I don't know.
Right.
And so it's like, we'll send someone out, but they're not like waiting for your call to just drive over.
No, God, no.
So it's going to take 3 hours before they can come over. And so by the time he came over, we're getting deep into the afternoon and evening, and I'm talking to you and I'm like, I don't know what we can do here today, Isis, without water and toilets. And I was like, and you were like, hey, it's getting kind of late here, and I got this opportunity to go babysit Kaylee for the night. And I was like, you know what, just go do that, and we'll regroup tomorrow. And so tomorrow comes, yesterday, and I'm talking to Isis.
I guess this was on me. This one was on me.
Well, it's on no one, but your sister and Mongoloid Aaron Rodgers apparently explosive diarrhea to a level you've never seen.
It was pretty
like,
rough.
They got food poisoning on their date night while you were watching their kid.
Big time, dude. They got food poisoning a day before that is what happened. So when I went over there, they were already sick, and it just like got worse. It was just a real...
Oh, I thought it was their date night out.
No. So the night before they'd gone out to eat with some friends, and they went to some friends. They got food brought in. They got a salad and some meat, right? Everybody ate the salad, whatever the salad was.
Oh yeah,
fucking.
Well, that's what they get.
Sick,
fucking salad.
Yeah,
what are they thinking?
So everybody that ate this salad got ridiculously sick. Exactly like 24 hours afterwards, and dude, I would say they were both like, not that either of them is a pussy, I would say, but they were both fucking sick. Like they did not feel good at all. They didn't want to leave the fucking room. Yeah. So it was pretty rough.
So you got to handle Kaylee.
I will say, not that everyone, I know it's so ridiculous, dude. So ridiculous. All the years of bashing the life burdens, and now I fucking care about one. I feel so
but it's your own.
Hypocritical.
So you care about that one. No, that's how that goes. That's how selfish people behave.
Right.
I'm the same way. I don't give a shit about anyone else's life burdens. I barely give a shit about Kaylee, only because I've heard her name from you.
Right.
But when you're talking about Reed, Mad, and Marshy, like those guys, I'd take a bullet for them, but I don't give a fuck about anyone else.
Right. Yeah. So it was wild. I will say it was wild because, so we were sitting there with my parents. My parents and I were all over there kind of watching or whatever. And my sister, I think her plan was, she really legit thought they'll just come over for a few hours. I'll probably start to feel a little better and they can head out, or whatever. They just fucking felt like shitty. And she's like texting me from her room, and she's just like, hey, why did you stay the night, man?
Yeah.
We're fucking... And I was shocked she was, my parents went home and I actually performed the duties of overnight babysitter.
Did you change shitty diapers and everything?
I did not change any diapers. I still have not learned to do the diapers. I let them change it before she left. They
smart.
left. They did it, marked it in the morning. I didn't do that, but I was responsible for a little humanoid, and put her to bed and woke her up in the morning.
Did you put on shit that she would enjoy watching, or do you watch whatever you want?
Well, you had to watch, for one of her big things that she watches is Miss Rachel. She watches this Miss Rachel that she really likes. But
is that like a Disney?
It's you know what? It was a mom, or it was a teacher that during COVID started doing little videos from home, and she got really popular with it. So they just kept doing them.
Yeah,
but she likes
lovely
them.
people.
She likes them.
Yeah,
or her or whatever. But
is she talking now?
She is not talking like sentences, but she is like she says words.
How old is she?
Just over a year.
Okay,
just over a year. But I will say this: she loves dogs, loves them.
Oh,
and so whenever she sees a dog, she'll say dog. Dog, and they'll woof, woof, and so I put YouTube videos of dog videos, or videos on YouTube of dogs,
Rockstar,
and
you're
she
a hero.
was just sitting there, just dog,
and
like
woof,
dog.
woof.
So we watched some dog videos, we watched some shit like that.
Did you feed her?
I feed her. I put her to bed. And then I woke her up in the morning, watched a little monitor, woke her up, made her breakfast, and walked her around. So
what is breakfast for a 1-year-old? Is it like just out of the jar shit still?
My sister, I think that's gone by the wayside as far as this feeding out of jars and stuff like that.
Like
we feed her real
peaches,
food.
yeah.
No, they feed her real food.
Really?
I think my sister makes her some different stuff. But for me, just being there, I just kind of did lunch for breakfast, which was blueberries, some chicken, some chicksen, and some cottage cheese.
Really good. You gotta get the chicksen.
So I don't know, but it was fun, man. I was glad to get to do it. It was really cool to do that. I guess I've been blown away by how much I actually enjoy and care about this shit. I don't still want one myself in any capacity.
Yeah.
But
I get it. I get it. But so this is why we were not here the last 2 days. It was half my fault, half his fault, but. Anyways, so at least you don't have to panic, and people are probably thinking we're the biggest pussies now,
Right.
I have something go on with my water pressure, and it ruins my day, and you have to babysit.
Well, you know what's funny? I'll say this:
it's really out of character for us.
The reason I kind of texted you when I texted you is like I didn't plan on staying over. Originally my plan was I was like. Because originally, it doesn't matter. Originally, I was going to I didn't do that, so we'd do one on Wednesday to make up for that. And that was my plan. I didn't plan on staying over there. And it's like, I was up to like 11, and really, even though she actually slept through most of the night, I was like, to me, uber paranoid. Like they got the little monitor, and like every half hour is just waking up like, oh, she's okay, isn't she? She's okay. I didn't get like any sleep. I don't know how parents do it, but I didn't get any sleep.
They complain about that a lot.
I hear my
They're always blah blah blah. Didn't get any sleep. They're whining about that.
Well, I'll say this. I see my sister. All the parents all these fucking parents that listen. I one day of mildly doing it because my sister will talk too about like when she's making food for her. She's just hanging around her and shit.
Yeah.
And with my sister and her out of commission, she really did glom onto me as which I loved.
Yeah.
But like I'm making her breakfast and she's like sitting on my leg and I'm like, hey,
you know what's coming? That's awesome, dude.
What's up?
You'll get to use this. Uncle Powers trump everything.
Yeah, right.
So the kids start coming to me and they're like, "Hey, can we do screens?" And
Uncle
Powers activate. Boom. Do what you want.
And
then my sister's just like, I guess they're getting 6 hours of screens today.
Right.
Because they're Uncle Powers.
Exactly.
So I'm like, dude, I got 1 day left and then I'm fucking out of here. You better use your Uncle Powers.
Well, that's what I always tell my sister.
So you've got that coming up when they start figuring out how to game the system a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think she's kind of already there, I feel like. Because I'm a pushover. And even though she can't talk yet.
Oh, they're going to get way worse, though.
Yeah, no, it will be ridiculous. Because I won't say no for the most part. It's going to have to be absurd for me to say no to. Like,
I haven't found the absurd thing yet. I'm like, really? This is what you're asking for?
All right, well, we're going to do it.
Okay, we'll do that. You could ask for anything.
Yeah,
but,
I'm excited. All right. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Jim Harbaugh. Well, I guess Greg Henson doesn't know everything. What?
I was just going to say, it's like, of course he fucking, like, to me, it just seems very Jim Harbaugh that he has to come out with this, like, not that it's taking away from the Lions, but it is a weirdness to me. Like, he couldn't have maybe done it earlier in the week even, or he couldn't have waited till Tuesday, or I don't know. It just seems like a weird.
Well, I was doing my morning sports program shit to see, do they have any of these wonderful journalists gone and done any real stories on these teams? No, it's just going to be an hour and a half of AFC coverage.
Yeah.
That was down to an hour because we had to put 45 minutes of Jim Harbaugh coverage.
Right. Okay.
And then they did 3 minutes on the way out the door on Lions Niners. I was like, this is I don't give a shit who wins the Lions-Niners game. Just beat the fucking AFC.
Yeah.
Whichever one of you gets there,
right.
Beat the AFC. The disrespect is so loud and so over the top. I can't take it.
I wonder what it was like.
So I didn't even think about that, though. Harbaugh, you couldn't have waited 4 days, asshole.
Or he could have done it Monday even at least, or Tuesday,
wait till
maybe,
Monday.
I don't know. It just was like, it seemed. I remember when I thought about it, I just thought it just seemed very. I don't know if he made the choice to do it, but it seemed very Harbaugh-esque that he would.
Well, it'd be impossible to keep it under wraps, and he had another meeting. He had an interview scheduled with Atlanta.
Okay.
And the word is the Chargers weren't going to let him leave the building.
Okay. Okay. So one of those things.
So
they wanted him.
It was going to come out, regardless. And,
Gotcha.
So,
I gotcha.
Anyway, I don't know what this means. it sounds like he could have been on the hook for substantial legal fees.
Yeah.
Depending on where these couple of, cheating scandal and recruiting scandal and stuff like that goes. I don't know. But the fact is, the Chargers could offer him something that the Wolverines could never offer him, and that's a chance at a Super Bowl.
And
title.
To be honest with you, I think no offense, but I think he knew what was coming at Michigan. I don't think it was going to be a great situation coming into next year.
No. It could be a little bit of a tough stretch.
It's very Pete Carroll-esque to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Kind of like lighting a fire, emptying the cupboard, lighting a fire, and, well, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
I'll go to get to do my thing. Good luck with all that shit I left you.
He won the chip, though.
I know.
And he came into a pretty bare cupboard situation himself.
Yeah.
He might be the best football coach out there. He's fucking spectrum for sure.
I wonder what he really like. Have you known anybody in your circle that's actually has known him on any level? Do you know somebody?
I mean, Henson would be the closest.
Okay, I don't really know. Like if you get him, you know what I mean?
I don't know. He's I don't know. I don't know much about the guy, and it's weird. He always wants to focus on his players. You notice him doing that in every post game interview. It's all about the players and this and that and whatever. It's fine, but he won a national championship in Michigan, and you can't ask for anything more than that.
No, for sure.
He beat the shit out of Ohio State 3 years in a row. You can't ask for much more than that.
Yep.
And hopefully it doesn't take too long to get the program back going, but the Chargers are going to be a problem because he would have been nuts to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
You've got a prime Justin Herbert there begging for a real coach to come in here, and they'll be a playoff team. They'll be living up to what they should have been. Like, they've got too many weapons, too many players, and so
I wonder how he will go over in LA. And not even for the number one team in LA, really. I wonder how that will go.
Well, it'll be interesting to see.
Will people care? Will his antics? What will his antics be like?
I don't know. I don't even know that Bill Belichick would have juiced a crowd more than Harbaugh could have.
Yeah.
Like, Harbaugh won at Stanford. He won at San Diego State. He won at Michigan.
Right.
He won with the 49ers. He that's what he does.
Yeah.
He takes over shitty teams and then turns them into stars right away. And so, that's a team that is a real head scratcher.
Yeah.
Because you look at the Chargers and you just go, wow, with the running back they've got and the weapons they've got and the quarterback. I mean, Jesus. Kid's tough as nails, absolute cannon for an arm. There's no reason they shouldn't be in the conversation every year. And so we'll see. It sucks to see him leave Michigan. It would have been a nice place for him to finish his career, but I totally understand why. It's like, I've done everything at this level that you can do.
And to be honest with you, even from a person who's not been as hardcore as a Michigan fan as I've been in my lifetime, I've cared, but not as much as I used to care for whatever reason. I'm kind of okay with it on the level of I'm sick of hearing about it every year. I'm sick of hearing, is he leaving? He's taking the year. He said 3 times, by the way, that he was never going to do this again. Yeah. And now he's leaving. And I get it. It doesn't technically matter. I suppose. He supposed to go to Minnesota?
And there were lots of people that wanted him fired, too.
I did a few years ago.
Yeah.
Right before this
A lot of people did.
Right before he beat Ohio State 3 years ago. I think people forget. I think that year that they beat them, they finally beat them in that snow game and everyone rushed the field and all that shit. Even that year, to me, looking back, I remember at the time, I wasn't that excited because I didn't think it was that good of a year. And I remember thinking that he was going to get I thought they were going to get their butts kicked that game. Mm-hmm. And I know, who am I? I don't watch as much as some people.
Yeah.
But I thought they were going to get their butts kicked that game. And they won, and then everything looks good now.
Yeah,
But going into that Ohio State game, if he had lost 3 years ago, I think he would have been fired.
Yeah,
so it's
maybe.
just a weird deal.
Yeah, and then they cut his salary. I mean, there's a lot of things. I don't know. I don't know enough.
I'm kind of okay with him being gone, to be honest with you. I think that's my point. I kind of sick of the every.
Well, I just don't know enough about the ins and outs, day-ins stuff with Michigan football. I'm just not.
Don't either. But
so it's here's the news. He moved on. Good enough for me.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? I don't care that much about the college football level.
Yeah.
And recruiting's weird to me, and it doesn't really matter anymore, anyways, with the portal.
I know.
And NIL money. It's all bullshit. So.
It's very odd.
Good for them. Go get a Super Bowl trophy for yourself, Jim.
You know what's funny though? I will say this.
I think everybody should be thankful that he actually pulled through and won a fucking natty here.
Yeah.
That's great.
I agree with you. I wonder how I think most Michigan fans will feel that way.
Yeah,
but I don't,
the ones I've talked to do.
I don't feel any. I don't know if it would be comparable, but I don't feel any of like the Detroit Rams situation. Like I mean, I don't wish ill on him. I don't want him to freaking break a leg or get hurt, but I don't care really. Like I don't feel like I'm pulling for him. No, like Harbaugh. Like in the same scenario. Like I don't feel like I'm like, oh, I hope he goes and does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If he does, he does. That's fine. But
yeah,
I don't care.
that's kind of how I feel too.
Right.
Yeah, fine.
But like I wanted Stafford to win one when he left. Like, when Stafford left, I was like, I hope he wins the Super Bowl. I hope
and
he does.
I'm glad it was that year, right away. Boom, done. Get it out of the way.
I am too.
Now we can all move on. Now I don't look at Stafford the same way. I'm like, yeah, he's a Ram. Fuck him.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. No, for sure.
What that first year when he was gone, and this happens in sports sometimes. You think of the Colts when they finally won the Super Bowl. Their running back, who was their running back for years, Edgerrin James.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
Edgerrin James had gone, it was just really hard. How do you keep Marshall Faulk, Edgerrin James? And so he ended up going down to Arizona and having a couple great years, made a playoff run with them. But the year after he left, the Colts won it all.
Yeah.
And Jim Irsay sent a ring to him.
Oh, really?
Gave him a ring.
That's pretty dope.
So I think he's the only, non-rostered player to get a ring.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, Irsay's done a lot of cool shit like that.
Okay.
He's one of those dudes. So, and that's kind of how it was with Stafford. It was like, even though it was the next year, it kind of had that feeling that Detroit Rams.
Right.
Lots of people here were rooting for him, because there's a disgust from this whole city about what that franchise had been, and it's like, you ruined this guy's career. He is a legit number 1 overall pick.
Yeah.
He can make all the plays, and you just fucking ruined his career.
I know for me
and
that's
so
what it was.
Lots of people were like, go to the Rams and get one.
Well, I wanted it to be done the first year, too, more so not just to get it out of the way, but I was cheering so hard for it because I wanted the it just seemed like such an, to show how terrible this organization was.
Yeah.
That your quarterback of 12 years in the next year went and won a Super Bowl. It just seems...
I wanted it too for all the people, and I know lots of them that are like, Stafford, that's Pat Stafford, all that shit. Just padding his stats and their stats. They're all bullshit yards and touchdowns. They're all in garbage time. And I know lots of people that are like, he's just not that kind of guy. He would never win it. Yeah. He'll never win it. And I was like, and I just stood there, and I remember getting abused by some of these people. I'm like, dude, if you think Matt Stafford doesn't have what it takes to win a Super Bowl, you're nuts.
Yeah.
Look at what's around him. Of course he has the talent to win a Super Bowl. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
And so to have him go right away, win one, those people still think it's bullshit. But whatever.
I mean, dude, there's people here who I think who want Hendon, like legit calls on Hendon Hooker 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Right before this run, legit calls thinking maybe we should put Hendon Hooker and instead of Jared Goff. So there's always fans that just are never happy no matter. They could win the Super Bowl and they would tell you, well, they didn't play, versus the hardest teams or something. It's like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I just turn off the noise and just try to enjoy the games.
I hear you.
Yeah. Did you see, we both came out as Swifties not long ago.
Yeah, true.
Did you see the dust up with her today?
No.
Well.
Oh boy.
This isn't good.
Oh boy.
Taylor is apparently furious. And the fact that Taylor Swift is furious bothers me. It bothers you.
I don't know yet. I gotta know why she's furious.
Well,
I gotta see.
Someone has put deep fake porn pics of Taylor Swift out there.
Where are these?
Yeah,
I need to make sure. I want to see how fake they look.
Well, if you want to see them, I'll show them to you. They're disturbing. They're very sexual in nature.
Oh,
and so this week, dozens of graphic images were uploaded to Celeb Jihad that shows Swift in a series of sexual
sounds like
acts.
a very reputable website.
Well dressed. Yeah, it is for deep fake porn. Yeah. Dressed in Kansas City Chief memorabilia and in the stadium. They were spread on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Reddit. Twitter and Reddit started removing the posts first thing this morning after Daily Mail narked to them and said, oh my God, these people have got here's some accounts that are showing them.
Why? Come on now.
Yeah.
Can't we have our fun?
A source close to Swift said whether or not legal action will be taken is being decided, but
There's no way it can be done.
There's one thing that is clear. These fake AI-generated images are abusive, offensive, exploitive, exploitative, and done without Taylor's consent and or knowledge.
Done without her consent and knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
The Twitter account that posted them doesn't exist
Isn't it
anymore.
just Photoshop, essentially?
Yeah, I know. And I was
what
like,
are you going to do?
I was like, well, I should probably just take a gander at
for
these
research,
photos.
you have to.
Just for, for the show.
You got to.
And
What would Taylor Swift look like naked?
well, we just don't know. And there's
I mean, this is just gonna happen now. Now that we have deep fake or whatever, it's just gonna be every celebrity. What's the they're all just, and it's not real.
Yeah. So I don't know how so there she is with "fuck me" on her ass.
Okay.
In the stands.
I mean, it's.
Here she is, a couple players grabbing her titties and stuff from behind.
Yeah.
See that? Here she is. I didn't know she could do the splits like this, but she can do the splits really good. And she's got "fuck me" on her tits.
Yeah.
And then we've got a couple Chiefs fans grabbing her can.
I thought these were gonna be videos. Even they're just photos, huh?
Yeah, these are just pictures. Here she is in the stands. This is crazy, dude, that she would be pulling this type of stuff in the
That
stands.
seems a very. Yeah, come on, Taylor.
Like, honestly, it seems super inappropriate. Then,
oh boy,
I mean,
Taylor,
Taylor,
right in the game.
I mean, this goes against. I mean, this guy has got to be a solid 9
Travis
inches.
Kelce know about this? I mean,
I don't know. And he is buried in her face.
I mean, what is she?
That one's more.
That is more tasteful, I guess. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Photoshop, though. Essentially, I mean, because none of this really.
Oscar the Grouch tagging her from behind.
To me, this is, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of this is that different than what we see. I mean, we've seen Photoshop on Google and stuff. I mean,
Well, I'll tell you, there's something in society that overreacts to everything, like her fans and stuff. And I know a lot of them are very young and blah, blah, blah. What did some of them say?
I mean, it's stupid, but
These images must be removed from everywhere they exist and should not be promoted by anyone. Taylor's circle of family and friends are furious, as are her fans, obviously. They have every right to be, and every woman should be. The door needs to be shut on this. Legislation needs to be passed to prevent this, and laws must be enacted. The abhorrent sites hide in plain sight, seemingly cloaked by proxy IP addresses. More than 143,000 new deepfake videos were posted online this year, which surpasses every other year combined.
what a shock.
Yeah, isn't that surprising?
More than even 1990. I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
exactly. All other
I
years
didn't even know what
combined.
deepfake was until about maybe 2 years ago.
Exactly. This Democratic Congressman Joe Morrell, he's on the case. Yeah, he's put forward a bill to outlaw such website.
And how is
go
that-
get him, Joe.
How is that going to happen exactly?
Yeah, good luck with that, Joe. When these guys pop up and then disappear, how much law enforcement you're going to dedicate to this shit?
Yeah.
It is clear that AI technology is advancing faster than the necessary guardrails.
I agree with that,
says the
having said that,
congressman.
but-
Yeah, no shit.
Right.
Thanks, congressman. Welcome to the party,
Right.
dipshit.
I agree. But
How can I get my name in the papers? Ooh, here's a Taylor Swift story I can jump onto
Right.
and get my name in the
I
press.
don't know who Taylor Swift is.
Yeah, Tom. Have you ever heard of Tom Keene or Joe Morrell?
No.
Exactly.
No, I have not.
No, you haven't. Whether the victim is Taylor Swift or any young person across our country. Okay, Tom, this has happened to thousands of young people across the country.
Did you ever care before?
Did you give a shit before? No, you needed Taylor Swift's name attached to it before
Right.
you really took this with all the gusto you're taking with it now. We need to establish safeguards to combat this alarming trend. My bill. Great. Let's hear all about your bill, guys. The AI Labeling Act would be a very significant step forward. There are mounting calls for the website to be taken down and for its operators to be criminally investigated. Twitter started suspending accounts that had reshared some, but others quickly emerged. Her loyal and distressed fans said, "How is this not considered sexual assault? I cannot be the only one who is finding this weird and
But
uncomfortable."
who are you going to? The problem is, how are you going to find the person you're? Even if
You're not. They're probably not even in
I
the
would argue that
States.
it probably is technically sexual assault. But who are you?
Yeah, I guarantee they're not even in America.
Right.
What sort of jurisdiction do you think you have around the globe?
Right.
You have such a narrow view of the world. I mean,
Yeah.
yes, this stuff sucks. I'm more worried about actual girls that get actual photos of them and videos stolen from their shit and shared everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm way more worried about those girls
than I am. This isn't real. I'm sorry. It's not
there's no person on earth, and fine, anyone using someone's image. First off, you're never going to get this past with celebrities involved.
Right.
It just doesn't work that way with celebrities. You invite yourself by being a public figure to way more scrutiny, way more people talking about you. So slander, those laws against celebrities just don't hold up.
Right.
They just don't. So why we are talking about the body, face of a woman being used for something she probably would never allow or feel comfortable with. You think she would probably never allow that?
Yeah.
Her going down on 9 inches in the middle of a stadium.
Probably. We don't know, Mike.
We don't know. I mean, we've never asked Taylor Swift this, but I got to think, her having "fuck me" painted on her ass cheeks with random fans in the stands grabbing it wouldn't be something Taylor would normally do.
Right.
I would think very much that any idiot that looked at this would go, "Oh, that's a pretty damn good Photoshop there." But you would know immediately. I used to say this way back in the day when it's like, "Oh, here's some images of Jennifer Aniston spreading her lips with her fingers." You're like, "Yeah, that's what she's gonna do."
Right.
Sure. You'd have to be an idiot to actually believe that. And by the way, what if someone drew pictures of Taylor Swift nude?
Right.
Because an artist could do that very well. Like if you have really good artists, they could draw Taylor Swift in an instant, nude as shit. Are you going to try to fucking throw that guy in jail? At what point is it not art anymore? And I feel weird trying to defend this, but I know this is just bloviating and it's not going anywhere. I don't know how you're going to, ask every celebrity that's had nude photos and videos put out there how far they've gotten with legal cases.
Right, for sure. No, I mean, I will say, like, it's definitely, even though it's not her, it's a weird line to me. Like, I am, when you think about stuff like this, I don't want it to go away. Don't get me wrong. But someone could make a strong argument that we don't need the internet. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm very well aware that I and we both use it on a regular basis to do work even.
Yeah.
But you really start to see some of this where it's going and stuff.
Yeah, it's nowhere good.
It's not a good situation.
No, and the troubling part about a lot of it is no one was asked about it. And you're seeing the devastating effects on society every day. Every day you see the walls of a decent society crumbling.
Yeah.
And, just call me old. I don't care.
And I don't think that's a hot take. I love the internet. I don't really I want to keep using it for my own reasons, but almost want to be like, but we shouldn't have it. But I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the yin and the yang of everything in the world. If there's an up, there's a down. If there's a hell, there's a heaven. If there's a right, there's a left. Like, it's the same thing. If you have the internet, you're going to have bad actors and people that use it for great shit that are going to learn and evolve and take full advantage of what the interwebs can do. And there are people who are going to try just complete fuckery all the time.
Exactly.
That's what they're going to do with the internet. So I don't know how you go around that. By the way, non-consensual deep fake porn is illegal in some places. Texas, Minnesota, New York, Virginia, Hawaii, and Georgia. In Illinois and California, victims can sue the creators in court for defamation. So this person says, I'm going to need the entirety of the adult Swiftie community to log into Twitter, search the term Taylor Swift AI, click the media tab, and report every single AI-generated photo of Taylor that they can because I'm fucking done with this BS. Get it together, Elon.
God, we got her, Elon.
Yeah, we're such a narc society, man. This idea of, like, how do we get all these people in trouble and then never hear from them again? How do we fix this? Like, why are you searching Taylor Swift nude
Just don't look it
AI?
up. Just don't look it up.
Yeah, ignore it.
Just don't look it up.
Like, there's not a single Swift. Maybe you could get some idiot 4-year-old and be like, hey, I found your favorite Taylor Swift. Check her out. And maybe that humanoid would be stupid enough to believe that.
Right.
But literally no actual fucking person would believe.
No, for sure.
By the time you're 10, you would know, yeah, Taylor would never do that. I'm aware of that. Yeah, it's.
Did you see this? By the way, did you see this? That this little kid held up this like meme painting, and Taylor Swift did walk by it as she was going into the game. That famous meme of like the guy, the couple walking down, and the guy kind of is looking at another girl.
Yeah.
Checking her out. But like this was if you see that was
that's awesome.
Kelsey and what's his name, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yeah.
Kind of, and she saw that. She did walk by, like he was
Really?
in a location that she kind of did see it and kind of just kept walking. But I don't know, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, that's great. It's a pretty good drawing.
No,
too.
the internet, dude. I don't know, man. Like I said, that's not a hot take at all, or it's just not that much of a big take. But
No,
you just start to realize, dude, because we're gonna start an AI and all that shit, man. We were talking about like those videos and stuff. You're just not gonna know, dude.
Yeah.
Not even a few years, maybe less than 5 years, you're gonna be in situations where we're just gonna be watching the news and there'll be a video of your politician doing this, or your so-and-so doing this, or you doing this.
Yeah.
And it'll just be like, and no one's gonna know, and you're just gonna be like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe it's real, maybe it's not.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get.
I think it's the goal.
It's gonna get so fucking confusing and so out of people's control that nobody's gonna know who to believe and what to believe, even in their own worlds, their own orbits, and where that leads to, God only knows. All I know is I wasn't asked. I didn't vote on this as to whether or not this is a good idea. I understand the rest of the world is doing it too, and so how do you? You know, even if you were able to fix this somehow, some way, put some handcuffs on in your country.
Genie back in the bottle.
Yeah, you're not putting the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It should be a fun ride, I guess.
I feel bad for, I was reading this story about Helen Mort, and she's in the UK.
Sounds hot.
She does, and I'm sure she is. It was 2020. Winter of 2020, when an acquaintance arrived at Helen Mort's door telling the mom of one he'd made a grim discovery. I'm like, is that the only reason he was there?
So what happened exactly?
Well, he's like, I found dozens of graphic images of you posting on a porn site.
Oh, really?
So he's admitting to this chick,
Yeah.
I was, doing my daily on this porn site, jacking it like crazy.
Right.
And I came across, no offense, you.
Yeah.
And you were there. She's like, what? First, it didn't really compute. I'd never taken a nude pic of myself. She was the victim of a deep fake porn attack. Her keyboard perpetrator had pilfered images from her social media accounts and used AI and other sophisticated computer software to transpose her face onto the bodies of porn actresses. Oh, boy. But if it's not you, like if someone did that with me and put me on some super fucking hunky bod with a giant cock, I'd be like, why won't these circulate more?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah. You know what? It's just one of those things. Though, it's just so much different for girls than guys. I will, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I know it's obvious.
No doubt about it.
It's just different.
Yeah. Some pictures were so realistic, the untrained eye wouldn't be able to pick them out as fake. In one, Helen's face is seen smiling. The original photo had been taken on vacation in Ibiza, but was now stitched onto the body of a naked woman down on all fours being strangled by him. Some guy was just fucking choking her. He just wouldn't let her go. And it's her face smiling, like she's into it, you know? So you're looking at your little photo album of Ibiza, and there you are getting choked nude on all fours.
So wait, I'm so sorry. I know you covered this. This is just a dude was watching porn.
Yeah.
And he noticed what his neighbor.
Friend of his. Some chick he knew.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's weird. It's kind of, it doesn't matter, but he came across him. Gross. Yeah. And then was like, look what I found of you. Are these you? Do you still perform this stuff?
Right. How does he bring? Yeah.
He knocked on her door. He just went over there and knocked on the door. Wouldn't you call her in 2020 first?
Yeah.
Be like, hey, Helen Mort, I found some photos of you.
Yeah.
Why would you go knock on her fucking door?
He wanted, dude, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, you and I are both thinking the same thing.
Just in case.
Yeah. I felt violated and ashamed. This is being on all fours and the guy strangling her.
Yeah.
Why would somebody do that? What have I done to deserve it? Next to the vile cash was a message. This is my blonde girlfriend, Helen. I want to see her humiliated, broken, and abused. She knew that it wasn't the boyfriend.
Yeah.
She knew, or the father of her kid. She was like, no.
No, that's not him.
He wouldn't have done that. I thought this was something that only happened to celebrities. I'm a nobody. Clearly, somebody had a vendetta against me. Helen works as a poet and part-time university lecturer in creative writing. Cool. 3 years on, the pictures have since disappeared online. The identity of her abuser remains a mystery, but not for want of trying. She contacted police, and they were like, yeah, what do you want us to do about it? You know, they were like, nice pictures. Since the images were fake, her case did not constitute a revenge porn crime. Helen's case is far from isolated and adds a grim thread to a wider tapestry of growing online depravity. Yeah. That's going to get really bad, and you're really going to see it throughout this next generation.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this I can say. I may have said some of this, but there was someone in someone's classroom that I know.
Yeah.
This person being in 4th grade, which is 9 years old.
Okay.
Taking some dick pics.
Ooh. Dang, dude.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, bald dick pics.
Whew. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And what are you thinking that you're going to do with, what are they doing? I mean, I can say no, but, well, again, though, I mean, I'm not, dude, it sounds like such an old man rant, but it goes back to the internet and all this stuff, man. I mean, we didn't get it till later, and we're probably still technically, I'm sure it affects us in ways we don't even know. But,
yeah.
But imagine having the ability to look at these screens so early and just see stuff, and what it would do to you, how would it change how you feel about all this shit?
Yeah.
We're going to find out, I guess.
We are. And maybe it goes so far over the top that nobody gives a shit. That the kids don't care if their dick pics are out there for the world to see, and chicks like, oh yeah, I remember when I was in middle school and I blew half the football team.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Right.
Like maybe they just don't give a shit. Maybe it's it would be horrifying to me. It would be horrifying to you.
I'm not really religious anymore. So even from a non-religious standpoint, I would say that's still not a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think there's human elements to, like, not to be corny about it, but like, you know, in the connection that you get through some of that stuff that I think that if it was just known, like, oh yeah, in 5th grade, guys run a train on me and everyone knows about it. So whatever. Like, there's going to be scars from that at some level. I feel like emotional or,
those incidents happen, right?
They do.
They do. But I don't like it either that, I've talked about the girl who apparently, was horribly taken advantage of and filmed in my high school before I got there. And you're talking about destroying it. It's not like, oh, what a crime. How do we get everybody involved and arrest them all and make sure nothing like this ever happens? It's like, no, let's all just make fun of the girl so that she's got to move to 4 fucking school districts away to try and live some semblance of a normal life. Like, that's outrageous.
Yeah.
There's got to be a medium somewhere in there between.
Yeah, for sure.
Because those incidents are going to happen.
Yeah.
Things are going to happen. Stupid people do stupid things, and young people do stupid shit all the time. And believe me, with as much access to porn as they'll have, I don't know how parents keep up. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
They're going to, and what they don't know, what they don't see in their own home, they're seeing on the playground.
That's the thing.
1,000%. Like, there's no way.
There's no way of stopping it, actually.
Yeah. No.
And you know what's funny? It makes a parent job so tough because you'd have to, honestly, as uncomfortable as it'd be, I think you'd have to start having these conversations much, much earlier.
Yeah.
And just try to be like, look, I know other kids are going to be doing this. These are what you and your mom think. I'd prefer you not.
Yeah.
I think you don't understand, but this would be bad. It would suck.
God,
dude.
I want to tell a story right now, but I can't. I just can't.
Sure.
It's there's too many people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I got you.
But, I'll say this. Hopefully you have a kid unlike me. Now, I was never abused as a kid. No one tried to finger my butthole that I'm aware of. Nobody tried to jack me off. I didn't have like a moment with my preacher or anything like that. I would have been too weak to be like, tell my parents something happened. Like, that would have been the shame alone. I don't think you would have been run to your mom and tell her, like.
I don't think so. I'm trying to think of my life, because I got made, I never told her about getting made fun of or some of that. So that's the best I could come up with, right? I didn't go and run and say, oh, kids make fun of me, or some kid threw me down at lunch or something, or recess or something. So I guess that's my best example I can give. I didn't tell them anything.
What I've noticed with whether it's Greg and Amanda or Chris and Jen, their kids have much, much, much more open conversations with their parents than we ever did.
Right.
Like, they were they were there. They had a job to do as parents, my parents, and they did the best they could, and they meant well. It was a different time.
Yeah.
But I absolutely firmly believe that if Marshall, Mad, or Reed had something, they have such comfortable relationships with their parents.
Yeah.
And I know of instances that I'm not going to talk about.
Right.
Where they've done just that.
Yeah.
Like gone home and been like, what the fuck kind of thing.
Yeah.
And which is great. Thank God they're not burying that shit inside, whatever it may be. And then nothing real traumatic or anything like that. But they're young.
But as a kid, anything can
be
a
devastating.
Big deal, more
yeah.
Than,
How much? Okay, E, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So, of all the deep fakes in the world, what percentage is made up by porn?
Oh, jeez. I mean,
so we've seen Tom Cruise deep fakes and stuff like that. So you got to take into account.
I mean, I'm gonna say, I feel like I'm going even possibly low, but I'll say 80%.
98%.
Yeah, I almost thought like it was a trap question. Like, I almost.
What does that tell you?
I almost would have said 90.
Yeah.
I wanted to say 90. I decided to say 80 just to give some kind of.
You knew it was higher.
I know.
You even prefaced it.
Yeah.
98%. They say in this article on me, shockingly, porn makes up 98% of all deep fakes. Shockingly, what? No, not at all. Much of that involves celebrities. Indeed, the sick phenomenon appears to have been born back in 2017 when a Reddit user uploaded lewd, though rather rudimentary, images and videos using the faces of Emma Watson, Jennifer Lawrence, and other female A-listers. He posted it under the name Deep Fake.
That's why it's called deep fake?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I actually
have always been wondering why.
So that's different than the celebrity leak, that led to I saw her butthole and I liked it.
Yeah.
That was like a full-on celebrity, like those were actual videos and nude pics.
Yeah, okay.
Most common, so the types of tool are face swapping apps, easily accessible on Apple, Android app stores, which can graph faces onto existing porn images and videos. Yeah, we've all seen that.
Of course.
One of the most popular apps is Reface. These are all charging money, so I won't be involved with those. On this type of app, stills are relatively easy to create, needing only one image of a desired face to be pasted into place. The second and more advanced type of deepfake tool involves AI. These don't use existing porn clips, but instead create computer-generated and ultra-convincing nude bodies under a chosen face. They often work by approximating what genitals would look like based on the curves and shape of a clothed body.
Oh my God, dude. And if there's talking celebrities, there's enough pictures of them in a bikini or a very tight dress on a red carpet or something.
But and I'm just like, oh God. So they could take a picture of this and be like,
based on that,
it's going to look like this. And you're just
and
like,
then,
then if it's accurate, you're like, oh.
You have to just sit there and just say it isn't anyway.
Yeah, got to play that game like, kidding me? Step on the tip of mine all the time, just walking down the street.
Right. Oh, my God.
They often work by approximating, I said that part. Okay, one website, Deep Nude, boasts that you can see any girl clothless with a click of a button. A standard package on Deep Nude allows you to generate 100 images per month. $30 for $30, and 100 will get you a premium of 420. Disturbingly, or thankfully, whichever way you want to look at it, most of these AI tools do not work on images of men.
Shocking.
Yeah, they said disturbingly. I'm going to add thankfully.
Yeah.
In fact, when the news website Vice tested one app by uploading a picture of a man, his underwear was replaced with female genitalia.
Hilarious.
They're like, get that fucking schlong. No one wants this.
No.
No one.
It's true.
So I know you want us to believe that there's no differences in men and women, right? It's, I was watching a Green Day concert the other day and Billy Joel.
Oh,
Billy Joe Armstrong, who's he's bi now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I guess he came out a while ago as bi. He's been married to his fucking high school chick forever. So I don't know how he's by, but he's got on his
Mr.
guitar.
Against the Machine doing his Amazon Prime special videos, by the way.
What's that?
So Against the Machine and big corporations.
Oh yeah, no, I was watching the Amazon.
No problem
concert.
doing these little Amazon concerts. You think Amazon's a good company, Billy Joel?
Yeah,
really?
Do you, Billy?
That's okay though.
Billy had on his he had his old guitar,
Yeah.
which has the stickers all over it.
Yeah.
And there's a new one on the top, and it says "Gender is an illusion." Gender's an illusion. I was like, ugh,
Okay.
stop it, bro. What are you doing?
By the way, the guy against any level of government conformity,
Yeah.
who was absolutely making sure everyone had a COVID vaccine for
COVID vaccine, sure, yeah, well, no,
but
totally makes sense.
against big government conspiracy.
Absolutely. Yeah. By the way, why would this thing not even? They're like, guy, get it out of here. No one wants to see that. No chicks are searching this.
Yeah.
So when you act like gender's an illusion, there's no difference between men and women. It's all a societal thing.
Yeah.
You know, a doctor just guesses when you pop out of a vagine, or maybe it's a cock you're popping out of. I don't know. When you pop out. The doctor just guesses,
Yeah.
and he's wrong a lot, which is why we're running into the societal issues we are
yeah,
today. But it's so one-sided, they don't even make them for the dudes. Because they know who the fucking creeps are. They know who their customer is,
Right.
and they know it's dudes. Almost exclusively.
By
They're
the way,
going
I gotta
deep
say
on
this,
this.
dude. I know I get it. Like, whatever people think of me, but like, what a fucking loser. I'm sorry. You're spending $100 a month just so you can put in images of like
Yeah.
every girl you know. And
Yeah.
and
Why does she look like nude?
I get it. Yes, we all want to see naked girls.
We do.
I
We do like
understand
that.
But what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Why is there a market for it? I'm
Okay,
sorry,
I
will
thought
say
you
that.
were first talking about the companies that make this, but no,
I understand the company. I'm talking
the
about
company's
guy-
making a lot of money.
I
off
understand
this.
that. I'm talking about these. I'm talking about the guys paying for it. I don't understand paying for OnlyFans. I don't understand.
But would
any
it?
of this.
But if there was a girl in your neighborhood or a girl in your school that would never give you the time of day, never look at you. You're a nerd. You're sitting down eating Doritos and playing video games in your basement all day long, and it's like, for $30, I can see what she looks like nude, and there'll be an actual like replication of her nude. That's sad more than anything.
I don't know. I guess I don't think this. By the way, I don't think this has anything to do with my, whatever I feel about naked bodies or whatever, and vagines, if you will.
Yeah.
But I've watched porn in my life and stuff like that. But the notion of like I need to see the girl I see every day at the Meijer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna get a picture of her so I can.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really weird. And
It
creepy,
is,
dude.
yeah. It certainly is. I'm so glad we didn't grow up in this environment, because I don't know what 13-year-old me would have been like.
Yeah.
13-year-old me might have been a real fucking problem.
I agree.
I'm really
Same.
glad that I didn't have that option.
I agree.
That it was like the worst I could do was, pay a guy at the video store
Right.
to go in and buy me a porn for the first time, me and my buddy, and he bought big black
yeah.
something like that. I can't remember the name of it now. I've said it on other shows, and it was just the fattest, blackest bitches just getting
Right.
railed. It was disturbing, and we were probably 13, 12, whatever
Right.
the hell we were. Or you found your dad's Playboy stuffed in a box in a closet
Yeah,
somewhere. Like that was it. You didn't get access to this stuff like these kids are, and they're whiz bang on this stuff, man. They're gonna be
I'm
ahead
sure
of
they
their
will.
parents. They're gonna be way ahead of their parents. So in October, male students, I remember this story. We did this story at a New Jersey high school, were caught sharing AI-generated nudes featuring the faces of their female classmates, some as young as 14. We're aware that there are creepy guys out there, said one victim, but you'd never think one of your classmates would violate you like this. Now, sweetheart, all men are capable of being creepy and fucking.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, don't single out, like, I can't believe these guys in my classroom. No. There's plenty more in your class, of your classmates that would be doing that too.
And
Just telling you.
And yeah, and we are. And man, I've been going to Planet Fitness a lot, right? I go in there. There's a few. It tends to be the same people. I feel like that go at the same hours of the day. And there's about 4 or 5 chicks in there that are smoking hot.
Yeah.
Every time I go in there, and yeah, don't get me wrong. You
jack off to them later?
You check it out and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But it's like That's like a normal level of creepiness. I feel like it's going such beyond that.
Yeah.
That's the thing to me. Getting this option is so much different.
Is this
kind of just like, hey,
is this better though than sneaking a camera into the girls' locker room?
It is better than that, I would say.
Right?
I would say that.
It's like, on some level, if these guys can get off to fake pictures of the high school cheerleader versus sneaking into the women's locker room and taking pictures of them or violating them personally.
But that would be the next. You know what, though? This will just make it more. I mean, I hate to sound like an old person, like, gateway. But, once you get this, then it'll just be. It will feed it even more, I think, than if it's just your mind. And, like for me, like I said, when I meant the thing, I said, I kind of out of sight. I like, oh, dang, that girl's hot and whatever. You try not to be too much of a weirdo. But like, I think it'll just get worse if you start seeing it, and then it's gonna feed the beast.
Yeah,
more than
and what we've no, you're 100% right. And what we've seen is the people that start young and start here, like that's not the end point, which is why you see people in serious trouble at 18 years old because they get caught fucking a sheep, and it's like, what happened? It's like, well. They've been doing this since they were 14, and there's nothing that'll get them off anymore. Yeah. They've seen all the videos of people fucking animals and stuff. Yeah. Whatever they're searching on the web, and now it's gotten to this point where they're going through with it. So to your point, that's what that is. Yeah. That it just, depravity leads to more depravity. And I know we sound like old men right now because, you and I, luckily, E, as creepy as we are and as weird as we are, we're not that creepy and weird. Yeah, we're not into like, the shit that a lot of people are really into. You and I just aren't. No. My brother and I talk about this. Like, thank God. I don't know how we got blessed to not be like, right. No,
I've actually, and it hasn't been the most successful thing. I went a good period with there, but I've gone through periods now where I've really even tried to stop watching porn. I do think I've seen, you see some stuff about it, and I think there's something to it that it's probably not really. And I get it, guys watch porn, and I'm not saying I've never watched it, but I've gone through periods where I've kind of taken a month or two and said, like, I should try to not watch it for a long time.
That's healthy, though. And you're much older now.
Yeah, I would agree.
At 15, you wouldn't have had that attitude.
God, no. Fuck no.
Right?
I didn't have it at 20.
Yeah.
Or really at 30.
30. Right. See, that's the point, though, that you, at least, your brain is fully developed now, and you can understand, like, consequences and like health decisions and anyway. I wanted to get to this other story, but I'll finish with this part here. The ramifications can be life-shattering. It doesn't have to be something that people think is real for it to be traumatic and humiliating. I won't speak on that. I don't know much about that because part of my brain goes, well, they're not real, so fucking just turn it off. Go, who cares? Let them do whatever. What would it be a big deal if they painted you as a horse and made you a human horse? No. So if they painted some fake body on you, but I can't speak to that. That's just how my mind works. If it was me, maybe it'd be totally different. Noelle Martin from Australia was just 17 when she discovered hundreds of porn pictures of her online after innocently Googling her name in 2012. Some sites commented, comments below the images revealed intimate details of her life. One stated who her childhood best friend was. Another printed Noelle's home address.
That's a problem. That's the problem. So the photos alone are one thing, but if then, the pervs are going to perv, and if they're going to start doing that, I know that girl actually. Yeah. So even though it is not a celebrity, pretty soon if you make enough of them, somebody's going to be like.
By the way, I said hundreds of porn pictures. These were deep fake porn pictures.
I assume that.
I should make that clear that these were not.
But if you make enough of them, then, like I said, eventually the web's going to grow, and the web, not the internet web, but the web of photos, and then someone's going to go like, oh, that's the girl that's in my office, or something.
She went to the police every time she was confronted with the same.
Nothing.
Yeah, there was no kind of law against this abuse. For the first few years, I did everything to get rid of them. I made fake accounts to confront the perps directly, only to be met with comments like, it's supposed to be a compliment. You can see how guys could rationalize that. Yeah. We're just boys being boys. What'd you expect? Boys will be boys.
I think people are taking the boys will be boys. You want to talk about someone hijacking it? Yeah. I think there's a level of where boys will be boys is an okay level of just like guys sitting around drinking beers and maybe you do something stupid.
Yeah.
You're kind of hijacking Boys Will Be Boys.
Well, it's kind of like the T's hijacking the LGBs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where a lot of people are like, whoa.
Because I wouldn't count that, like, if someone told me this and it was like, oh, yeah, you know, boys being boys, I'd be like, no, you're being an asshole.
Yeah.
But like, that's different than you and me having some beers in the backyard and kind of like, hey, can I dive off the, you know, what, I don't know, some dumb shit. Hold my beer.
Yeah, I'm jumping off the roof into the pool.
Yeah.
Boys will be
That's
boys.
Boys Will Be Boys.
Yeah, taking a picture of all your classmates and which one would you?
Yeah.
You know, and going down the
Even
list.
that,
You know,
to me, it's a little different. I mean, it's
well,
not.
just because I've been there.
No. But I'm saying that's like, this is not. I think there's a level that's getting, like I said, it's getting hijacked.
Yeah, hijacking Boys Will Be Boys is not cool. In 2018, things got worse when Noelle, then 23, received an email from an unknown address with a link to a porn site containing deepfake videos of her having sex. I watched as my eyes connected with the camera. It was convincing even to me. It took Martin a year to tell her parents, who are conservative Indian Catholics. Since then, not even discussed.
And what would you tell them? That's the thing. Like, it's
Dad's like, she's showing her Punjabi to the whole world.
Right.
And he's like, fucking doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Mom's in the corner just putting a dot on her forehead, like, no. Do not want to discuss. What were you going to say?
I don't even know.
All right.
I don't know.
Well, I want to get to this next story for you, mostly. So
I wonder if it's going to be what I think. I'm curious. Well, I'll have to see. Never mind.
So, to this day, over a decade since deepfakes first started to appear online, she is still battling to have them removed. I'm living a lifelong sentence. The harm of these deepfakes is the flow-on effect into your whole life, your employability, interpersonal relationships, romantic relationships, economic opportunities. She likened the fight to a game of whack-a-mole.
I kind of would hate to admit it. Like, we sometimes say, like, when you say, whatever. I kind of believe it, though. If it just becomes on a simple Google search and, you know, you're looking for a real job, they do those searches.
Oh, of course.
And so
your name
like,
comes up and it's just...
It's like...
Yeah. A loophole in the 1996 Communications Decency Act says that U.S. websites are not liable for third-party content, which means they are not obliged to remove even the most offensive deepfakes, nor are they incentivized to do so. In fact, more extreme content means more clicks, which means more money. Okay, so they're talking about Section 230. We've talked about Section 230 on this show. Title 47, I believe. Section 230 is operator isn't treated as a publisher, but merely as a platform. And you see how that works out. You know, that's abused. So Section 230 also provides Good Samaritan protection from civil liability in the good faith removal or moderation of material deemed lewd, lascivious, filth, anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, but those people don't tend to give a shit about that stuff.
Of course not.
And they hide under this, to do the censorship shit we've seen over the years, where it's like, okay, you're abusing the shit out of the Section 230 where you're not held liable for whatever's put on your page. And it was initially meant, Section 230 was initially meant like in the early days where it was like, hey man, I just have this platform here. I do a talk show and I have this. I can't be held responsible for any comment some dipshit puts in there. Remember the old days when the comment section would completely fill up with porn links?
Right.
And stuff?
Yeah.
That it was like, well, it's not fair to hold these aren't the publishers of this shit.
Yeah.
These are just the platforms. Well, when they started making publisher decisions and like using that carve out in Section 230, that protection to eliminate speech they didn't like in all those comment sections and stuff like that, that's where it becomes a problem. That's where people like me get really offended by it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're not using it for what it was meant for, and you know it, Anyway, I did want to do this story. Vince McMahon.
Oh, I thought so. Real quick, I was gonna say because I thought this is where you're gonna go with this. Did you see that like Oklahoma? This whole deal, Oklahoma's proposing to make watching porn a felony and banning sexting amongst non-married
what?
couples. Yes.
Oh, stop it.
Yes.
Wait, watching porn a felony?
Yeah, I think so.
That's got to be. Is that an Onion piece?
No.
Where'd you get that? CNN?
No. Look at it. I heard this today, by the way. I looked
the
it
New
up.
York Post.
I heard this already before I came in today, but when you're talking about this, I brought this up. And I thought that's where we're going to go next to the next story.
No.
To be honest with you. Yeah.
How would you? There's no fucking way. It's not even worth addressing this. That's so silly. Watching porn felony, ban sexting outside of marriage.
That's my favorite one. Banning sexting outside. So what if you're dating?
Yeah, and what one person's sexting is another person's good morning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you're just some fucking like, oh, I don't know what the hell, been thinking about you all night. Is that nerd's fucking form of sexting?
Yeah.
God, there's no end to it.
Could you imagine banning sexting amongst non-married people?
The thought that you are going to rely, this is what I wish Democrats would get through their minds. The thought that you are going to rely on government agencies to protect you from all the world's ills is laughable. They're incompetent to a person. All of them.
Right.
All of them. Why would you want to give them any more control? So they can come up with dipshittery like this? Which Republican ass bag proposed this?
Yeah.
Which overly married nerd?
Probably gay himself.
Yeah, probably gay himself.
Or super into porn.
Yeah, exactly. Let's make it a felony, and you can only sext your wife. What nerd is sexting their wife? Sexting is a young relationships game.
Right.
No one's sexting with their wife.
To get to the wife part.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the wedding day you're sexting with your wife, but no. After that, go 5 years deep into a marriage and tell me how many fucking husband and wives are sexting all day with each other.
It's a dating thing. Or a single thing.
It's a single and a dating game. Fuck out of here, you Republican douchebag. Whichever one of you propose. I know no fucking degenerate Democrat is proposing this. I know it's a Republican fucking ass bag that's doing that.
Some tight ass.
God. And you're right. Probably gay as shit anyways.
Or just super into porn, something like that.
Yeah. Vince McMahon.
This about Netflix or no?
No. Accused of sex trafficking.
Oh, shit.
A new lawsuit filed by a former employee who claims the billionaire, and I can end it right there, the billionaire. Anytime you start with the billionaire, he took a shit on her head during threesomes.
I
don't hate it.
The owner of the WWE. I can't believe it.
It's a bold move.
Yeah.
To actually take a shit on some girl's head while you're banging her in a threesome.
Yeah. Whew. I mean, when you get to these level of fame and money and power.
Yeah, he's run out of things to do to these people.
Right.
He's choked every fucking whore he can.
I mean, he literally, on his TV show, we're not talking about in his own personal life, on his TV show had a thing called the Kiss My Ass Club. And sometimes it was a punishment where he'd pull his pants down and the wrestler would have to kiss his ass.
Sure.
And that's literally, he put that in front of the world. That's not on his, so if that's where he is on the TV show.
Yeah.
Think what you got to do in your personal life.
He's shitting on heads.
Yeah.
He's shitting on heads. Janelle Grant, who previously agreed to a $3 million settlement in exchange for signing a non-disclosure, has filed a new lawsuit against McMahon.
Several of these non-disclosures come out recently, too.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Grant claims McMahon, I was like, hey, bitch, you signed it. You got your money. Shut up. I don't want to hear from you now. No, I'm tired of these skanks coming back years after the fact and going, no, I want more money. No. You signed it. But if she's correct here, I don't know that she is. She claims McMahon stopped making payments after the initial $1 million installment. She now seeks to void that contract.
Well, if you got to pay up, dude.
If you agreed to settle for $3 million, pay her the $3 million.
I can so see this. I'm sorry. I can so see it.
Yeah. She suffered bruising and bleeding after McMahon forcefully penetrated, just jamming sex toys in her.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The chairman of the...
I mean, this is the guy you follow, not me. You. Big fan, he's this. Sex toys he named after wrestlers.
Of course.
It's time for the Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Of course.
Fucking good deep dicking from, how would you like a Triple H?
Right.
I'm gonna fill you with every hole.
Reference, Mike.
Yeah, you like
Triple
that?
H, dang.
I was waiting for you to come out
I
with
assumed
something,
I assumed all of them were going to be the 80s from you. I didn't think you'd get something from the Attitude Era.
Yeah, from the aughts?
Yeah, the aughts, yeah.
From the aughts, Triple H?
I mean, he was still wrestling not that long ago.
Yeah. Who was the one that, let's see. Who was the one that was a school teacher around here? He had the green tongue, George? George the Animal
way
Steel?
back in the day. Yeah, there was a George the Animal Steel guy, I think.
Yeah, you could penetrate a girl with a George the Animal Steel dildo.
For sure.
So she also says McMahon and another executive there with the WWE locked her in a room at their Stamford, Connecticut headquarters in June of 21 and took turns sexually assaulting her during the workday.
Nice.
So they just kept her locked in a closet, and they'd just be like, looks like I'm retooled. Better get it back in there.
Right. Oh, got a few meetings. I'll be back.
Yeah. Run my own version of the tag team competition.
Oh, there you go.
Like
was
that,
it for the belt? Was it for the belt?
Was. I don't know if it was a cage match. If you know what I mean, but, yeah. It's going on in 21. The guy's 78 years old. Oh my God. It's not like, you read these and it's like in 1983, now she's 80 and she's gross and she's like, I was violated. No, this is happening 2 years ago.
That's crazy, man. Vince.
He's accused of trafficking Grant to other men and sharing nude photos of the plaintiff.
God.
Yeah. The organization previously described McMahon's sexual relationship with Grant as consensual. In a 2022 statement, the lawsuit comes as McMahon is reducing his role within the company. He briefly left in 22 when the initial allegations of his infidelity first surfaced.
He kind of slipped on back, I guess, right?
Yeah,
like kind of once everyone kind of forgot about it, he kind of showed back up.
Yeah. The board learned of McMahon's relationships with Grant from an anonymous tip in 22 and launched an internal investigation, which subsequently uncovered $14.6 million in other alleged payments to by the executive to various women.
What's funny about that is people on the board, some of the people that are, I don't know what their exact status is right now, but some of the people on the board at that time certainly could have been his daughter, Stephanie, his son-in-law, Triple H, the aforementioned Triple H, which is his son-in-law. They probably would have been, I know Triple H for sure, he's running the company right now.
Is he?
So he would have been on the board probably in this moment.
Yeah, probably. So they uncover all this. My thought was, hey, at least the guys are paying their bills.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this, we went too far with this one. We Roddy Pipered this one to death. And now she's crying foul and we got to pay her $3 million. They uncover 14.6. So this is billionaires' version of boys will be boys.
Yeah.
So at least the boys will be boys. We're paying up.
Yeah.
Our
problem is I think he was using the company money to do it. So
well, hey, at least the ladies were being paid what they were.
That's true. Somebody was giving them money.
Exactly. So, Grant alleges that McMahon ensnared her in a sex relationship by promising to help advance her career. Yeah, that's always the one that gets them.
For sure.
Always gets them. Before exploiting her and then just sharing her with executives within the company. Sounds like she was a real gamer, though.
Who was this? Say or no?
Janelle Grant.
I don't recognize the name. But.
Janel. In one text message, McMahon is accused of sharing a photo of Grant with others and writing, "She may scream and try to say no, although that'll be difficult to say anything with a cock down her throat." That's true. You can't say that that's not true. Yeah. It would be hard to say anything with a cock strap, stuffed down your throat.
Right. That's a good point.
Another message sent by McMahon to Grant read, "I'm the only one who owns you and controls who I want to fuck you." One executive, retired wrestler John Laurinaitis, is also named as a defendant. Grant claims that McMahon directed her to regularly visit this dude at a hotel where they had daily sexual encounters prior to reporting to the office. So before she could step foot in the office, she had to hop by Laurinaitis' hotel room and hop on that thing.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. I've left that hotel feeling bad about myself every time, Grant claims. I don't want to hear that. The very first time you did it, fine. You feel bad about yourself. Go to the police at that point. File a lawsuit. Whatever you got to do. But you don't get to do that every day for a year and then.
Yeah, I mean, well, no. See, I disagree with that. I'm not saying that makes it right that she didn't go say something, but just like we do things, we talk about being, ashamed maybe of doing, drinking too much at times. It's like you do things that you shouldn't do. You feel shame, but you kind of do them.
Yeah. But if you find yourself hiding in closets waiting to be tagged by...
No, I agree.
Like, at some point, is there any sort of, personal...
You know what's funny is
responsibility or no? You're a woman, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't know.
Not the best story, by the way, to be coming out as they just announced a $5 billion deal with Netflix. I mean, it's going to be exclusively on W's Monday Night Raw is going to be on Netflix starting next year. But
if you don't think those boys are up to some shenanigans,
oh no, it's obvious. It's very obvious.
You ever hung out with a wrestler?
Other than the one we know, no, not a real one. Nothing. Not when I say not a real one, nothing against JR or
no, I mean like big league WWE
big star.
superstars.
No, I've never hung out with one that was regularly on TV.
They're a piece of work.
I'm sure.
I've done it once.
How long ago would you say?
97.
How big of a star would you say? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to remember his name. He carried the 2x4 around.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
That's decent. I mean,
yeah,
he was a very big star at one point. Like, it's funny, he never was like in the whole attitude era necessarily. But
right.
Like, I know what you're talking about.
But me and him and Russell were out at some bar near the Silverdome, I think, hanging out one night.
Yeah.
They're big, loud, obnoxious dudes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, especially not that they're not now, but especially in the 80s-ish, early 90s, where it was just like steroids and there was no they've like everything. People have tried to clean it up more. Don't get me wrong. There's still, beefed up guys who I'm sure have but people are more conscious of stuff now. There's just social media. You can't necessarily get away with as much as you probably could have back in the day, but.
Okay. Let's do a couple emails and get out of here, Isis.
Okay.
What do you say to that?
Sounds good.
Fuck that. See you next Tuesday. Oh, boy, I know what that means. Stafford's puke of a wife. Everyone hated her, including me, until she got cancer. I took a lot of shit when that didn't change my stance. Fortunately for everyone, especially Matt, she pulled through and became an even bigger bitch. I'm glad to see everyone is back on the bandwagon of reality. Good day. I said good day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're not. She's wound up. There's no way you're shutting that off. She's going to give you her opinion no matter what.
Right, for sure.
Way to piss Greg off. This is from James. For fuck's sakes, I was agreeing with him, and you confuse him to the point he thinks I called him gay. I think we straightened that out in the end.
I guess
right?
I guess maybe he doesn't feel like that. But
well, I don't care. But that's the way it happened. Greg found funny.
Yeah.
Once he
got it.
Got it. Yeah. Maybe I didn't do a great job of explaining it. I doubt that, but it's possible. Because in the end, Greg got it. James, relax. You're fine.
I'm sure Greg hasn't thought about it since, by the way.
I promise you he hasn't. Subject, NFC Championship game. Well, Mike, who you rooting for?
Ooh,
Connor, Getting a lot of those. I'm rooting for a great
Whoever
game.
wins.
I am. One of my two favorite teams on planet Earth is going to the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah.
That is, at the end of the day, that's my reality. I watch every snap of every game of both these teams, and I have for 40 years. So that's my reality. So no matter what happens, one of my teams is going to be in the Super Bowl. And for that, I'm very excited. I'll be depressed and bummed, but I will. Having said that, and I have not said this so far.
Okay.
I can't tell until kickoff what I'm really.
I would imagine
when they
that.
start playing, you find yourself like, are you yelling once you're like, go, 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 yeah. Touchdown. Like you don't know until that emotion hits you.
Right.
But I try to feel how, like, what am I thinking? I'll be goddamn, dude, if my gut is not leaning Lions right now.
Yeah, you definitely seem like that. I get that sense from you for sure.
There's something to it. I used to go to Candlestick Park as a little kid.
Yeah.
My grandpa, I got pictures of me and my grandpa. I'm wearing my 49er sweatshirt. And he's having his Miller Lite.
Of course.
Always. We're in the parking lot with Candlestick. I've been to preseason games, regular season games, playoff games, all of that stuff. My grandpa had season tickets forever, for decades. And so I am a very true and honest 49ers fan, but I am also a very true and honest Lions fan. And I don't think it can be overstated that, since the last time the Lions were in a championship game, the Niners have been in 11.
Right.
They've won 5 Super Bowls, and they've been in a few others.
Yeah.
So, if this is the window right here for the Lions, it wouldn't break my heart to see the Lions win over my Niners.
Yeah.
Now, if that doesn't happen and the Niners win over the Lions, I'll be okay. I'm going to be okay either way. Yeah. I'm in a good position. One of my teams is going, but whoever it is, I want to beat the shit out of the AFC.
Yeah,
I really
get
do,
that.
man. And honestly, I think the Lions have a better shot of beating one of those AFC teams than the Niners even.
I have no feeling on it. I think they could beat the Chiefs. I don't know about the Ravens, but we'll see.
Bunch more email. We may do a show tomorrow. I haven't really talked to E about it. We'll see. we'll see. If we do, good. If we don't, that's okay. Did you want to do one tomorrow, maybe, or do you?
I'm not sure. Let me think about it for a second here.
Do you? If you don't, that's fine. We just missed a couple days for the reasons I mentioned.
I know.
We don't have to, but if the reason I say it is if not, I'm going to say right now, good luck on Sunday with the game.
Let's do it that. Let's
Why don't we do it that way? And then if we do a show, great.
Yeah.
And then you get a bonus
There we
episode.
go.
So if you don't hear from us tomorrow, go Lions, go Niners, for me personally. But I fully understand the hatred of the Niners in this town right now. I fully embrace it. I get it. It's going to be an exciting game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a close game. And don't count these fucking Lions out. And I think I think you could steal some money if you take the 7 points. I just do. Don't come to me and make me pay your bill if that's wrong.
I have thought about putting money on the Lions with the 7.
Yeah.
I have thought about it, but
Yeah.
I can't quite pull the trigger yet. I've thought about it.
The
problem is
it comes down to it can be a great game the whole fucking game, and then
Yeah.
there's a throwaway field goal at the end
I
that just
know.
makes it look like it was a bigger game spread.
I know.
That's always a possibility when a team's selling out for something.
I know.
That an over-the-top garbage touchdown gets thrown in and blows everything. So,
and here's where I'm at. I saw, because I don't really have money to gamble. I'm such a cheap ass anyway.
Yeah.
And I looked at what would $20 win? So 20 would win me 38. So
Yeah.
$18.
Yeah.
So really, unless you're willing to put 100 at least on it, it's almost like, what is the point?
Or take them straight up if you think they're going to win, and then
Yeah.
get some odds where it's like my 20 pays 50.
Yeah, that's almost how you have to do it.
Yeah, because just taking but if you go, I think my Lions can beat this team. Fuck it, I'm going to throw 20 on it.
Yeah,
And
then it's a little different. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right about that.
all right, everybody.
We'll see.
It's going to be an exciting weekend no matter what. Hopefully, at some point this weekend, some of our national sports media starts covering the Lions Niners game. That would be great. I doubt they're going to, but it sure would be nice. But have a great rest of the evening. We'll talk to you soon.